I'm Dr. Demelza and I'm the Enrichment Coordinator here at Niabi Zoo. I'm going to do a voiceover to go along this video I put together on animal enrichment, but before I go into specifics, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to Niabi Zoo itself. So Niabi sits on approximately 40 acres in Coal Valley, Illinois. We have around 600 animals representing approximately 200 different species. We have around 20 both aquatic and terrestrial invertebrates, the remainder being our vertebrates, including some aquatics. We also have some amphibians. We have several species of turtles and tortoises, several different species of lizard, and also several species of snakes. Over in the bird world, we have over 20 species of birds, including the bald eagle. We have some owls. We also have several species of parrots, and then up to our ostrich being the largest bird. In the mammal world, we have around 40 species of mammals, and I'm not going to be able to show all of them here, but it includes the mole rats, we have bats, meerkats, here's the fennec fox, African crested porcupine, our lovely red fox, and then our tallest residents, the giraffe, as well as we have some zebra, and in our domestic animal area, it includes donkeys. And then we have a Bactrian camel, and one of our very largest residents would be the white rhino. For primates, we have 3 different species of tamarin and several species of monkey, including a wolf's guenon and a colobus. And then we also have some lesser apes in the form of the gibbons. In the carnivore world, we have some binturong and several species of cats, including Pallas cat, the African leopard. We have amur leopards, snow leopards, a lovely lion lady savannah, and then we also have a pair of red wolf. So now on to enrichment. So enrichment are basically items that are added to an animal's habitat that provides choice, change and complexity. All of our animals here at Niabi are enriched, and the vast majority receive enrichment every single day of the year. It's important to note that there is no one size fits all, and so we begin with an approved items list for every single species. We take that approved list and we input it into a computer program, and then we can generate a randomized calendar for each species. Now here is a randomized calendar for our lion. She gets 4 items every single day. She will get an olfactory item, 2 tactile items, and then she will get either a taste, visual, or auditory item. And many of our animals have calendars that look very similar to this one. So we like to divide our enrichment up into 2 areas. We have permanent enrichment and special projects. So permanent enrichment does not mean it is permanently in a habitat. That would be furniture. What I mean is that it is given on a permanent basis based on our calendar system. And it could be a homemade item such as this device that we made for the meerkats for foraging, but it could also be a specialized purchase device such as these balls that Savannah is interacting with. Likewise, it could be a one-time use item such as this paper plate which has molasses on it that our bobcat is investigating. But the goal is to encourage natural behaviors such as is seen here in the scent marking and the rubbing, and also play behavior, foraging behavior and so on. So we target all senses. So we will target the olfactory senses, and we do that through scents and spices and schmears. In this case, there is some peanut butter on that branch, and he is investigating that peanut butter and displaying natural behavior in scent marking, rubbing, sniffing, and so on. And then on the floor, there was actually some spice down there. And again, this is a natural behavior where he is going to investigate that smell and rub and scent mark on it. The next type is auditory enrichment. And so we would use things such as wind chimes as shown here, but it could also be CDs being played, animal sounds, nature sounds, and so on. The next type would be taste enrichment, and it could be a novel food item as duiker is getting here, but it could also be parts of their diet that is just presented in a different way. Our keepers can be very creative in creating interesting frozen treats and other kinds of food items, utilizing approved items from their diet. So all of their food items are items that an animal is approved to have, but we try to present it in different ways to make it more interesting and to add that change into their habitat. The next type of enrichment would be visual, and that could be mirrors such as this handheld mirror that our tortoise is interacting with, but it also can be mirrors that are specialized devices that are designed to go in with the animals. And you can see Azizi, our Alan swamp monkey, is very interested in the mirror he has. Now visually we also include things such as flags and pinwheels, but we also include other items that you may not expect, such as is shown here with our zebra, and that is in fact bubbles. If you look very carefully, there are bubbles that are being blown into the habitat for them to interact with. Now the next type of enrichment is tactile, and that could be something as simple as a branch that Kenya here is using as a back scratcher, but it can also be items such as this giant ball that Tail, our ostrich, is interacting with. Now for many of our tactile items, they will include things such as this foraging area where Pico, the white-bellied caïque, has to pull out the paper in order to get to his diet. And this just adds the complexity that we want to see into the habitat. We also use objects that you might not expect, everyday objects, such as this brush. Now they could put some dietary items in there that they have to forage with, but it could also be as simple as a brush that the meerkat can play with or move around or use in whatever way that they see fit. And then many of our tactile items also go along with foraging. So we want to encourage foraging behaviors, and in this case for the giraffe, we built this device so that the giraffe can feed at the height that they should be feeding at, but we also added a little complexity to the object so that it moves, and that Twigger, in the case here, she has to get to those items, and it's going to take her a little bit longer to get to, but it will add interest for her, adds complexity, and gives her some challenges so that it's not super easy, but not super hard either. And then here are African porcupines, another foraging device for them. And again, they just have to get to their diet. It can move around. It just adds interest, complexity, and gives them the choice to interact with. And then here is CJR Gibbon, who is investigating a fire hose pocket device that again, she has to figure out how to get to some of her tasty diet items within that device. Now we make a lot of other devices, foraging devices. Here's another one that you see here for our giraffe. Again, it's up high at a height that giraffes should get to. And giraffe have very long tongues. They are very motile, long tongues that she can get into these objects to get her food. Again, it's going to give her some challenge, some complexity, and adds that choice and change into her habitat and will take her longer to get to. Now on to special project enrichment. So we do a lot of special projects, and these are basically items that we have groups help us with where we theme our enrichment for the animals. In this case, it was a World Giraffe Day that our snow leopard got. We do many days throughout the year and we theme these items depending on the day. It could be Snow Leopard Day, Amur Leopard Day, World Lion Day, World Giraffe Day. We also do a very big one at Halloween, is one of our biggest enrichment days. But these sorts of projects are what our groups primarily help us with. Now we have to be very careful on what we give our animals. So again, anything that is made, whether it's by our volunteers or our community service groups, they have to provide items or make items within pretty strict guidelines. And so every item that we give to our animals, we have to use non-toxic in terms of non-toxic glue, non-toxic marker pens, non-toxic paint, and so on and so forth. So we do a lot of paper products, and a lot of our animals can have paper products. But again, it's all done with non-toxic glue, non-toxic marker pens, non-toxic paints. We can never ever use things such as tape and staples and so on and so forth. So again, these are our special project days. We have many of them throughout the year, and we always appreciate help with making these special project days. We believe our animals get a lot of use out of these items. They just add the choice, the change, and the complexity. It's very different than their everyday items. In some ways they're similar, there's overlap, so some of the items that we use in special projects they get on a daily basis, but it won't necessarily be as intense. So anyway, to summarize, please check out our Niabi YouTube channel, where we have a lot more videos that cover not only enrichment but a whole host of other things. And so thanks for watching, and I'm going to finish up here by showing you a trailer that we made for a special project. In this case, it's for a birthday.